Olá pessoal, vamos dar sequência à série Mestres e Controladores da Mia Kimberly. Dessa vez com a novidade, porque eu tive que dividir esse episódio em duas partes. E eu vou explicar para vocês por que eu fiz isso. Acontece que eu resolvi analisar quanto tempo que eu levo para fazer a tradução, as legendas e a sincronização de cada episódio. E com isso eu descobri que cada 10 minutos de vídeo eu levo 4 horas para fazer tradução, as legendas e a sincronização. Isso quer dizer que a cada hora de trabalho eu consigo legendar apenas 2 minutos e meio de texto. O que leva mais tempo mesmo é a sincronização das legendas com o áudio do vídeo. Portanto, eu resolvi dividir esse episódio de 20 minutos em duas partes, parte 11A e parte 11B. Vamos então à parte 11A da série Mestres e Controladores da Mia Kimberly.
Thanks for watching miasnewpairofglasses.com and welcome to part 11, Duped, in the Masters and Controllers series. When we thought we had woken, the first voices we heard from the truth community might have seemed like a breath of fresh air. Someone was talking about the things going on that we knew there were secrets behind. We were looking for the truth, so we searched for what was available, and were led to those who were talking about subjects we wanted to know more about. The 9/11 cover-up, chemtrails, aliens and Area 51, the moon landing hoax, flat Earth, and many other topics were the first ones being discussed and the first topics we might have explored. It seemed like there were regular people, just like us, searching for the truth, and they had answers. But we've been duped big time, and when I say we, that includes me. I wasted a lot of time and energy because I did not stop and think for myself, and I fell into the traps that are there for a reason. Because we didn't understand the magnitude of what we were up against, the ultimate secrets that were being hidden, and the mastery of the plan that was in play long before we ever started searching, we fell into the traps. The question is not whether any of the information talked about is true or not, but more why this information is released and promoted on such a large scale, what the benefits are to the controllers who control the entire truth arena, and do these things really matter in the face of what is really being hidden? Or could it be that the controllers leave insignificant breadcrumbs that may or may not be true, designed to draw people away from the catastrophe's existence and keep the population running in circles while the EMCO clock ticks away? In this video, we are going to use a blatant example of someone who hopefully most know by now is a shill pushing a controller agenda topic. But the lesson is not in exposing this person and their topics. It's in the way the controllers have duped us all by using their knowledge of human nature against us and influencing our beliefs whether we consent to it or not. No matter who you are and what you know, you can bet that you are trusting someone who has been planted to deceive you, and you have taken part in things and subjects created to waste your time. You've watched hours and hours of videos that don't mean a thing compared to what you need to know about your world. For an example of this topic, let's start with a widely known puppet that covers a popular subject of much debate that has consumed many people's time and attention. And where there's one, there are many, many more. But in this video, we're going to talk about Dane Wigington on chemtrails and geoengineering. Dane sounded like he knew what he was talking about. We all wanted to know what was in chemtrails and what their purpose was, and Dane seemed to have answers. He supposedly tested waters at elevation, like on Mount Shasta, and found levels of barium, strontium, aluminum, and other chemicals that he attributed to what was named chemtrails. This was quickly adopted as fact by the truth community. But that is what he was reporting. Have you ever tested waters and found those chemicals? We were taking him on his and his team's word that that is what was found. A critical mistake that most have made is taking someone's word on something they cannot verify. Who named these trails coming from planes chemtrails, and why? It wasn't regular people like you and me. In this case, they used just one strategy of many: subtle mind control by using language. Who says these are actual chemicals in these trails? Oh, that's right, Dane, but we will get to him in a minute. By naming these trails in the sky chemtrails, the narrative was already controlled, and the way people think about them was set from the beginning. From now on, we are taking back the narrative and calling them what they really are: particulate trails. For those of you who watched Brian's video on these trails in his Sun series, you know why that is. What we know for sure is these trails create clouds. And for rain, you must have particulates. This is just one way of many used to get particulates into the atmosphere to create rain for terraforming. We are sure there are other purposes, but at this point, knowing is not a priority. By using plants or shills who are steering the conversation from the topic's inception, they led people down a direction they wanted them to go, away from what they didn't want people to know. Here's a picture of Dane Wigington speaking at a conference about geoengineering on April 7th of 2019, posted in an article titled, "Geoengineering is Fueling Firestorm Catastrophes." The controllers always knew what would happen once the EMCO process started, so they devised the perfect cover to lead people to believe that the weather catastrophes were linked to geoengineering or global warming. They had to know the process would be slow and intermittent, which is why climate change and geoengineering was the perfect cover. Did anyone ever stop to ask some important questions about how people like Dane get exposure? How people like him get the microphone to sit in front of government officials, like in this image with Bill Vander Zalm, former Premier of British Columbia, Chief Executive of the province, a position similar to a governor in the U.S.? he gets the funds to do all this research and traveling when that requires money, or how he gets invited to speak at conferences. How do conferences exist? They have to be sponsored. That requires money. Travel and lodging for speakers and participants alone costs a huge amount of money. Renting conference rooms, equipment, posters, promotion and advertising costs, dinners, galas, etc. Where does all this money come from? The controllers. Why do they support it? Not to disseminate useful ultimate truth,